Now that the dust is settling, the NFL scouting combine is over. There's a flood of mock drafts hitting the internet. As usual, quarterbacks are moving up the board fast. Todd McShay had his mock draft that just came out. You could have, 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. You could have maybe 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10. You know who doesn't get blamed when you miss out on the next great quarterback? The GMs get less of a hard time for passing on players at other positions. Aaron Donald is arguably the best defensive player in the league. You know how many teams passed up on him? 12. Rams got him at 13. People don't call out teams that passed on him or other defensive players. But boy, if you miss a quarterback, what were you thinking on missing out on Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson? And I agree with that. So now we're seeing names like Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, and Jacob Eason in mock drafts. You got Joe Burrow, you got Tua. 5 quarterbacks first round won't be a surprise. It almost seems like that's the norm these days because it feels like everybody is spinning that wheel, hoping it lands on a franchise quarterback. So get ready. It's draft time, and here come the quarterbacks. It happens every year. It is time-tested. Now Jacob Eason is a guy who people are looking at going, wait a minute here. He's a riser. Jordan Love, hey, keep in mind he lost all of his offensive weapons. They, very injury-prone team, and but people liked Jordan Love last year. He was just a disappointment, and as my source said yesterday, he just wilted in big games, big moments there. But they love him. They love what they think you can do instead of what they see. That's why Deshaun Watson fell, because I think we saw everything. You saw him play. You saw him win a national championship. You saw him in a big moment. And then you go, oh, okay, well, yeah, but what else does he have? Like, is that his ceiling there? I don't know how many people watch Patrick Mahomes, but Mahomes you watched and you went, yeah, but he's a Brett Favre-like. He takes too many chances here. But you got to see him, and people passed on him as well. Mitchell Trubisky, who was watching Mitchell Trubisky? Who was watching Daniel Jones? But the potential was there. And Jordan Love, boy, the potential. Big arm. He could be like Mahomes. Okay. All right. Maybe he is. Joe Burrow could be the next Tom Brady. When Rick Neuheisel came on, he said, he could be the next Tom Brady. More athletic. Tua's like Drew Brees or Russell Wilson. Okay. Every year, that Justin Herbert, man, he looks like a quarterback here. Okay. It's just every year. It's one thing to look like a quarterback. Can he play like a quarterback? But that's what you have this time of the year, mock drafts, as we try to handicap this. And somebody is going to go crazy over a quarterback and move up. And I don't know what Washington's doing it to. I mean, I'm still a little skeptical on that the story was broken by a newspaper in Miami, not in Washington, about that they're interested in Tua. It felt like it was maybe one of those planted articles there. But is somebody going to go up and get him? Do the Redskins? And I understand what the Redskins are doing. Like, if you want to give the impression, hey, you want to get him? You got to come up here and get him at 2, and then maybe you can still get your guy if you still want Chase Young. But this is what happens when you're trying to find a quarterback, because every one of these GMs and owners knows the following. I get my quarterback, I build around that quarterback, and now I have a 5-year window to win a championship. But, used to be if you were signing a guy, he could be $50 million before he played a game. Now, there's the Bears could cut Mitchell Trubisky, and it cost him $9 million probably. I mean, in a different era, it would have been, it's going to cost you $25 million, $30 million. You had guys like Jamarcus Russell and Sam Bradford. They were making a lot of money that would paralyze your team. But now that's not the case. And you don't wait. If Washington says we've seen enough with Dwayne Haskins, and the owner wanted Dwayne Haskins, but you bring in Ron Rivera, and Ron Rivera says, I want Tua, good. He's got to find his quarterback, because if he doesn't, then his stay in Washington will be brief. Everybody wants to find that quarterback. The question is, we love the quarterback that we don't know that much about. It's like players who play in Europe. Man, that guy, he's got potential. If Luka Doncic played at Duke, we wouldn't have thought as much of him as we did the mystery of him playing in the European League. Now, it's a teenager playing with grown-ups. Man. And I'd watch his highlights. That's why they're called highlights. It's rare when they show you traveling, double dribbling, missing a defensive assignment, missing a layup. Like, they show great things on there. But that potential, that mystery, that's what we love, and somebody's going to do that again. They're going to go, Jordan Love, yeah, he didn't have a good year this year. Maybe we can get him at a discounted rate here. All right.
So the breakfast situation has changed. I've been all about the whole wheat bagel with peanut butter. I don't know how healthy this is. I have a feeling it's not very healthy, but listen, you can tell exactly, if you want to know what's really happening in the Dan Patrick Show, you can tell the blood sugar level of anybody in the room by how grumpy they get on air. Like if they're argumentative or kind of like upset about something, it's just hunger. So this is a very important table for the future of the Dan Patrick Show.
Oh my God.
The play of the day.
Runner left side, got it! We're gonna play it and play it.
This is the play of the day.
Check this out.
Moore headed the other way. Lobs it to Stanley! Oh! Punch it down for two!
One-handed. What a grab and a throwdown, and the Blue Devils up by 11.
That's courtesy of Learfield IMG College. David Shoemate. Jump by Chris Cross. Duke routs North Carolina State, snapping a 2-game losing streak. They wrap up their regular season slate against the Tar Heels on Saturday night at Cameron Indoor. Our play of the day is brought to you by Tecovas. Gentlemen, listen up. Tecovas boots, handmade, full-grain leathers by world-class boot makers. Tecovas cuts out the middlemen and sells directly to you at amazing prices. Shipping, returns, exchanges, free and easy. Visit Tecovas, TECOVAS.com/DP. Tecovas Western Goods for new frontiers. Do we have a comment from Mike Krzyzewski after last night's game?
Yeah, Duke had lost 3 of their last 4, and a reporter asked about losing 3 of the last 4, and Coach K went scoreboard.
When you lose, then we've lost. Oh, the world is going to end. And a lot of pressure is put on. Even social media, like it's amazing what people put out. Really, if you're our fans, don't do that. Come on, man. These kids are 18 and 19 years old. I mean, you can question my coaching and what the hell. And then when you do question it, by the way, just come into Cameron and look up in the ceiling. All right? And then find out if you should question that, But don't do anything with our players.
Oh.
Just support them.
Man. You get these older coaches, and when they start to lose, man, they have some, like Jim Boeheim, these guys are entertaining. I know that it doesn't happen very often where they say these things, but man, when you go scoreboard and you're Coach K, I like that. He didn't go scoreboard, he went banners.
He went rafters.
Yeah, go up, just look up there. Now you want to question me? It's just not a good Duke, it's not a formidable Duke team. That's all. Yeah, McLevin.
Yeah, that's a serious low when our play of the day is an alley-oop to beat NC State on a Monday night.
Yeah.
I mean, that used to be like, they wouldn't even talk about beating NC State.
Well, didn't they lose to NC State? And now it's a big... I will say that it felt like the play-by-play and analysts, they went a little too excitement level. I mean, you got to act like you've been there before. And if you're the Duke play-by-play voice, I'm going to guess you've been there before. Yeah, Paulie.
The Duke students, they don't rush to court, do they? When was the last time a Duke had a court rushing?
I don't know if it was a North Carolina game.
Maybe.
But I don't know how many games, because they don't lose at home. Yeah, see.
But they aren't kids who strike me as like acting like they've been there before.
The Duke
fan
fans?
base. Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about the play-by-play voice. That you got to act like you've been there. I mean, you won by 20. Might have been a really nice play, but, I mean, come on. Can we play that again? Do we have the capability of playing that again?
Oh, my God.
The play of the day.
Runner left side, got it! We're going to play it and play it.
This is the play of the day.
Check this out.
Moore headed the other way. Lobs it to Stanley! Oh, punch it down for two!
One-handed. What a grab and a throwdown. And the Blue Devils up by 11.
Okay. Oh, am I on? Seton, I think you have that voice in you.
He sort of did this!
Oh, my God!
Stanley!
Yes, McLovin.
I don't want to make Coach K even matter, but someday
no,
we're going to look.
but you gave a butt here.
Someday we're going to look back and say you had Zion, R.J. Barrett, and Cam Reddish, and you didn't make the Final Four in 2020. That's what people will say because those guys, R.J. Barrett, after last night, I'm convinced he's the real deal, and Zion is obviously a superstar.
I have great appreciation for people when they send in patches for me to put up. Love it. And very honored. I forget how this started. I just know that I put a couple of them up in front of my desk, and then next thing I know, Mario goes, I'm going to encourage people to send their patches in. And I go, great. And then I got so many of them that I had to create this cork board. And one of these days, having a patch up here is going to come in handy. Because I'm driving through Georgia, the back roads of Georgia, and I go, oh, I got a patch. Or the officer will go, oh, yeah, you put our patch up, didn't you? Long time ago? And I go, yeah, that's me. I think San Diego County Sheriff has sent in a couple of these. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but it feels like he really wants me to hang that up. Look at the Republic Ranger District. That's a badass one right there. I like that. Pretty much makes my day. Kirkland Police, love that. I love the colors in there. Gorgeous.
What's up, dudes? How are you?
How was Indianapolis?
It was. I've had better. I always enjoyed going to the combine, seeing friends and getting to see these guys in person as far as the draftees, but I got really sick there, like to where I threw up on my first segment of the show on Wednesday morning. I had to leave the set, and I was pretty much throwing up for the next 10 hours after that. So I've had better trips to the combine, that's for sure.
You were on the set with Florio throwing up.
Yes, I had been throwing up all night long. It's probably I've thrown up 5-6 times. I get up to do the show. I threw up one more time leaving the hotel. You throw up. You think, oh, okay, maybe that's the last one. I feel pretty good. Okay, let me suck it up and see if I can go do the show. I got to the show. I was thirsty as hell. Chugged the blue Gatorade. Did the first segment, and the last minute of the segment, I was about to pop, and I had to walk off and, of course, found a trash can and let it all out.
What about a left-handed quarterback, Chris? You're a fellow left-handed quarterback, but we had a caller saying, you can't be successful with a left-handed quarterback, and I started rattling off successful left-handed quarterbacks here. Is the offense still geared to be a right-handed offense?
Well, yes, it is. Most offenses are, but it's not like a huge, John Gruden, was I a pain in his butt that I was lefty? He'd call a play and go, oh, wait, I got to call it the other way. You're a freaking lefty. Oh, you're driving me crazy. You freaking he'd go off on me that way, right? But that's not a huge problem. I mean, to call the bootleg to the left side as compared to the right side is not going to be some mind-blowing experiment. Will it take receivers a few days to get used to the ball spinning the other way and kind of falling a different way on the deep ball as it falls out of the sky? It goes another way? Yes.
If you were Ron Rivera and you had the opportunity to take Tua, let's say the medicals check out.
Right.
Would you take him or would you just stand pat with Chase Young?
Yeah, well, Chase Young is a once in a lifetime, not once in a lifetime, but once every 5, 6, 7 years type talent.
Yeah, but so was Bosa, so was Clowney, so was the other Bosa. I mean, it feels like once in a lifetime has happened a couple times in the lifetime.
Well, you're right, but again, we saw Bosa this year, he was picked to be that guy, and he's already in the conversation for one of the best defensive players in football. Same with Jadeveon Clowney. It's the same thing. It's phenomenal. Now, you're right. I get it. Now, Tua, as much as I love him, and he's a fellow lefty quarterback and all those things, he scares the hell out of me. He does. And nothing to do with the play. The play, and again, I haven't studied, but from what I saw on TV, I know that's going to check out. I know he's a smart guy. I know he's got a strong arm. He's got great feel. He's a leader. He's got charisma. He's got all the things you want as a quarterback. But having seen the guy in person a few times, he's not a very big guy.
No.
He plays a little bit of a dangerous style of football. He does already have an injury history, and that scares me. It just scares me.
What about a left-handed quarterback, Chris? You're a fellow left-handed quarterback, but we had a caller saying, you can't be successful with a left-handed quarterback, and I started rattling off successful left-handed quarterbacks here. Is the offense still geared to be a right-handed offense?
Well, yes, it is. Most offenses are, but it's not like a huge, John Gruden, was I a pain in his butt that I was lefty? He'd call a play and go, oh, wait, I got to call it the other way. You're a freaking lefty. Oh, you're driving me crazy. You freaking, he'd go off on me that way, right? But that's not a huge problem. I mean, to call the bootleg to the left side as compared to the right side is not going to be some mind-blowing experiment. Will it take receivers a few days to get used to the ball spinning the other way and kind of falling a different way on the deep ball as it falls out of the sky? It goes another way. Yes, but the Redskins. It's interesting there altogether because I know is the Tua thing real? Is it more of a smokescreen to get people to trade up for him? Is it really being used as a motivational tactic for Dwayne Haskins? That's the one thing, Ron Rivera has said from the start is he wants to see Dwayne work harder and be here. And, he's kind of made those comments because there was a lot of rumors coming out of Washington last year that Dwayne Haskins was lazy. And I know the year ended up good and he started to play really well, but I'm sure what people in Washington saw early on in the year and everything was concerning. And I'm sure people have told Ron Rivera that. And, the quarterback can never have the lazy connotation, next to his name. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I know I've been told that. I know other people have been told that, too, by people around that organization. And I think that's probably what they're doing more than anything is driving up a little trade interest and scaring their young quarterback to, get in gear and get ready to go. Jordan Love, you're right. I mean, there's a love affair right now, a little much for me. Yes, some of the, the words and comparisons I'm hearing thrown around, yeah, it's a little much. Now, Jordan Love, though, I will say, and I'm a little behind on my film here, Dan, just so I haven't done deep dive yet here. I'm going to start with the quarterbacks today. But, he certainly deserves to be in that conversation with the Joe Burrow and Tua and Justin Herbert. I think he is there in that class of player.
Okay.
Now, right now in my TV scouting, I'd say he's fourth out of that group. But I hear you. Everyone right now is trying to say Patrick Mahomes, and come on, that's not. I've seen enough of Jordan Love. Let's stop. I saw Patrick Mahomes 4 throws, and I went, whoa, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody make that throw in my life. That was the kind of things I saw from Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Love, I see a lot of good. I certainly see potential, a nice throwing motion, strong arm, all those things. But come on, Mahomes is right now on the trajectory to be the greatest single talent we've ever seen in the sport.
That's nice right there. That's nice right there. We're ready for Barstool. Big Cat.
Yeah, bring it, you punk ass.
Nah, it'd have been better. We'll edit that here where I make that. Big Cat better be ready for a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
By the way, a couple of new T-shirts on the Dan Patrick Show store website. For the L.A. crowd, a shout-out to Mookie Betts. And another one, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Go to danpatrick.com to check them out. Seaton says to me, McLevin's got it on today. Seaton goes, do you know what MLB stands for? And I said, Major League Baseball. He goes, yes, but also Mookie Betts, his middle name is
Lynn.
MLB.
Yeah.
So Seaton came up with he was the creative genius behind MLB.
It's appropriate.
And that's for Mookie Betts.
Yeah. It's like a take on the Major League Baseball logo.
Yeah.
But it's got Mookie Betts' batting stance in there and then MLB.
Yeah. And it got Dodger colors here.
Yeah.
McLevin, it looks good. Yeah. So that's available on danpatrick.com. We should send Mookie one just to be fair. Right?
We could do that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then we got the St. Patrick's T-shirts. I haven't seen those.
Yeah, they're not in studio yet.
Oh.
They're on the site, but they're not. They haven't been delivered yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you order them, we'll ship them out to you, and we don't price gouge you. We love that you're involved in the show in a variety of ways, whether you're watching, listening, or buying merch. We appreciate that. Boy. Hey, did you notice people picking up on the LeBron MVP bandwagon? That didn't take long after we talked about that.
It's funny because I got into a back and forth with one of our production guys, because he texted me and was like, are people watching NBA basketball? Giannis should be unanimous MVP. I'm like, what? No, absolutely. He'll win. Again, Giannis will and should win the MVP. Let's state that for the record. But I think it's going to be closer than people think because what LeBron is doing, number one in his 17th year, leads the league in triple-doubles. And people say, well, triple-doubles don't mean anything this year. I was like, in his 17th year, he's leading the league in triple-doubles. And his team has the second-best record, and they're playing in the better conference, in my opinion. That's why I think it's going to be closer than people think. And to your point, and you mentioned this last week, the sentimental vote as well. Because he has 4 MVPs, you could make a case he could have 5 or 6, right? Just like MJ should have won it every year. You could make a case LeBron should have 5 or 6. I think a lot of people are going to vote. And we see the Lakers on national TV twice a week. We never see Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
So I think those are all factors in where I think it's going to be a closer vote. I still think Giannis wins the MVP, but it's going to be closer than people think. That's right.
I saw where Trevor Ariza was not going to fall for the nutmeg by Trae Young and gave him a forearm shiver. I loved it from Trevor Ariza's point of view. It's like, no, young guy. That I'm not here for your amusement.
And I love it. I'm wondering what took so long for someone to do this. Because he's been embarrassing a lot of guys. Now, normally you get big guys on that, right? When they, hedge out or strong show on those high screen and rolls. But to do it to a wing player, and a wing player of Trevor Ariza's stature, a guy that's, 10-plus years in the league, he's a champion, won with the Lakers, he ain't falling for that, and nor is he going for that. I like it. Just like, here's the thing. I know everyone's talking about Giannis and James Harden, the back and forth. Man, where's my popcorn? I want more of this. This is what the NBA needs.
Yeah, but
I like the jawing back and forth, criticizing each other's games. 2 former MVPs going at one another. Yes, thank you. I'm here for that.
Yeah, but it started out entertaining, and then all of a sudden the Greek Freak says,
personal.
hey, I'm just going to go home and spend time with my family, get a good night's sleep, and be with my child. Like, that's not the trash talking that we want. We needed a little more than that, Reg, because it started out by saying, I didn't draft James Harden because I wanted guys who were going to pass the ball. And then Harden comes back with, boy, it'd be nice to be 7 feet and just run and dunk, and that's all you do. I have to learn the game of basketball. And then that's when the Greek Freak should have come back and said something about Harden. And he says, hey, I just want to get a good night's sleep and go home and be with my family and my child. That's not trash talking.
Would you want to be the first one with the dig, which Giannis was, or the counter? What do you want? I like to be the first digger. I got in first. All you're doing is responding to me.
Yeah, but I'm a counter puncher.
I like it.
I don't get in. I don't go early, but I'll go often after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, the game that followed that trash talking was 41-20.
Oh, I know.
His first 40-20. So I think that was his counterpunch, right? Oh, so all I do is dunk? 41-20. There's your counterpunch.
And help me understand this, because soccer started this where soccer stars would exchange jerseys after a match. It's called an exchange. JaVale McGee asked Zion for...
He didn't exchange. He took. He stole. So there was no barter here.
Well, but I don't think Zion asked for JaVale's jersey. Like,
what's he going to do with JaVale McGee?
Well, I know, but it seemed awkward that here's JaVale McGee, who's 10 years, 12 years older than Zion, and he says, "Can I have your jersey?" And then Zion doesn't at least go through the motions and say to JaVale McGee, "Okay, can I? Hey, do you want mine?"
I think Zion may have forgotten. I think he may have forgotten. Look, back in the day, there is absolutely no way I would have asked MJ on the court, "Can I have your jersey, dude?" But I told our ball boy, "Hey, go down there and ask if MJ would sign my jersey." And it took like 2 hours. He's like, "Well, he doesn't know if he's going to sign it or not." I'm like, "Oh, God, this dude's going to get me." So I had ball boys go get MJ, Magic, Larry Legend, I believe Charles. You have a ball boy go do it before the game or after the game. I don't know if I could do it at center court and buddy up and, hey, not after trying to, like, take you out the air, because I don't know what's going to transpire during the game. So I don't know if I really want your jersey anyways. So that's why you would try to do it before a game.
Jordan made you wait on purpose, right?
Of course he did. You know he did.
Now, did Jordan ever ask for one of your jerseys?
No! Looking out.
Do you think Jordan just has Jordan's jerseys on his wall?
I think he may have Larry Legend and Magic. I think those may be the only two jerseys that MJ might have, is those two. He doesn't have Isaiah. Bad blood between the bad boys.
Is there still bad blood there?
I think so.
Gosh.
But wasn't that great basketball?
Yeah, but that's 30 years ago.
Yeah, but you don't let go. I don't let go. I love MJ. I respect MJ. It's hard to let go, man. It's hard to let go.
Yeah, I just don't. Man, asking for a jersey is. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Asking for a jersey, that's okay, but you got to get something back in return. JaVale, you got it. I mean, Zion was like, "Hey, you want my jersey? Okay." He didn't even look at him like, "What am I going to do with JaVale McGee?" Now, if that was Pam or Paula McGee, you'd be like, "Okay, well, what?
Oh boy.
Someone else. Great principles don't get lost once they come to light. They're right here. You just have to say them again.
Patrick Mahomes was on Sirius XM NFL radio, and he was asked about staying in Kansas City, which I didn't know that was in doubt.
I'm optimistic just to be able to be a Kansas City Chief for a long time. I think the best thing about this team and this organization is they handle things the right way and they do things the right way. And so for me, obviously, I'm optimistic of getting that contract and extending and my time in Kansas City. But I'm going to just go about being who I am, just like I have since the beginning, since I was the backup until now. And that's to go out there, love this game, treat people the right way, and all that stuff handles itself.
All right. Yeah, they're going to pay him. Question is, when does he get paid? If you're Kansas City, when do you start those negotiations? You're waiting for the CBA. I'd be curious what Dak Prescott's going to get. If Dak is asking for 35 or more, then it is conceivable that Mahomes is going to start at 40. I thought all along that you do, is it going to be 5 years for $200 million, maybe more for Mahomes? Because he can ask for whatever he wants. It's the guy after that. So what's Deshaun Watson get after Mahomes gets that? And if you're Watson, you want to wait until Mahomes gets paid to then you go in and go, well, I'm better than Dak. Maybe not as good as Mahomes, but I'm somewhere in between. How about we do a crisp $38 million or something like that? But this changes franchises. McLovin, what did you learn today on the program?
Chris Sims says being a lefty quarterback is not that big a deal, but John Gruden still yelled at him.
Yeah. Seton O'Connor.
Still down the toddler, unfortunately.
We're still
down the toddler.
Oh, yeah. We're still missing. Yeah. Todd's not here today. Paulie?
Your Dayton Flyers, a little too close to the sun.
Yeah, I think so. Third in the nation. What did I learn, McLovin?
Reggie still dreams about basketball.
What we learned brought to you by True Car. You can go to True Car to build your car and compare models by options from discovery to pricing to reviews. Get everything you need with the new True Car. Do what McLovin did. He used True Car. Thanks for joining us. Seton, Paulie, Fritz, and McLovin, yours truly. This has been The Dan Patrick Show.